Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to see you. I am indeed home. I've been home for about 24 hours now, but if you have not seen my Twitter account, uh, so we got home yesterday. I went to, turn all the power back on, get my computer going, and it just will not work. Like I've tried everything. It's currently in pieces on the ground. I've tried taking stuff out, putting stuff in. I've tried taking RAM out. I've tried adding RAM. I've tried 1 stick of RAM, 4 stick of RAM, 3 stick. I've tried removing the CPU. I've tried cleaning it. I've tried loosening stuff, tightening stuff. I even kicked it one time because I was so frustrated because I worked on it for about 6 hours last night, and it's I don't know. I think it's dead. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't work. I can't get it to boot. So I don't know when I'll be back. I'm hoping within a couple of days. I got to order some parts, so I'm going to order a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM. And I don't know what it's going to be like with Christmas, shipping and stuff. But hopefully by Friday. Yeah, I don't know. So there's an issue. I'm going to have one last crack at it tonight. And in some of my research, there's one thing it might be, but we got to see. When you turn the power off to your computer, especially if you have a computer that has a motherboard and is like a PC, there is a battery, a CMOS battery on the motherboard. It might be that the CMOS battery is flat, and that each time I turn it off and go away, there's not enough residual charge in that battery to keep all the settings in place. So I'm going to have one more crack at it tonight. I've got spare batteries. If for some reason it works, I'll be back tomorrow. So that's sort of what's going on right now. Was it hot and didn't have aircon? No, only the day we flew in, which was yesterday, was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Melbourne. So we flew in from like 18 degrees into like 40 degrees, Celsius. It's been. Hey, Woodland, I'm on my phone right now. The only thing is, on my phone, I can't do anything. I can't show you anything. I can't show you any videos. I can't share screens of anything. I can talk to you guys, but I can't really do a whole lot. But I wanted to at least come on and see everyone. Um, it's a crazy day. I did tell everyone on Twitter because I can't access my Facebook through the phone. So if you've been messaging me on Facebook or sending me notifications, I can't see them. I was hoping to get home, boot up the computer, and see them, but I'm only logged into my Facebook on the PC. So I wanted to tell you the other story of what happened. So the day we left, we got up early. Not like day we left Tasmania, not Melbourne. So on Monday morning, we got up really early, packed all our stuff, got out. Our family was staying at the same hotel, so we decided to go and hang out with family. Get some breakfast, say goodbye to everyone, and so we had a great breakfast, really great. Food's great at the hotel, and I was walking back to my hotel room, and the owner of the hotel, his name is actually I'm not going to give you his name, but his name is Jay. His name is Jay. He comes running up to me and he's like, "Is that your hire car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my hire." Like we had this big white SUV. We ordered a tiny hatchback, and they gave us this gigantic SUV. Anyway, he comes up to me and he says, "Oh, I have to tell you something." He's like, "While you were eating breakfast, they have a golf cart that has a trailer on the back, and they use it to clean the rooms for room servicing." He's like, "The person operating the cart reversed into your car and damaged it." So an hour before we left, we had a damaged rental car, and it was pretty bad. They crushed in the quarter panel on the side. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because he was able to sort of pop it back on because we were worried we won't be able to drive to the airport. Like, because if it's in bad condition, you're not supposed to drive it. He was able to sort of pop it back on. I'll see if I can show you. Hold on. Because all the photos are on my phone. Hold on. We might wait. Don't play music. I hope that's not playing music for you. If it is, tell me in the chat. I don't want you to have to listen to that. How do we get to here? All right, let's delete that. Delete me looking. I've got sunstroke really bad too. I got burnt again on Sunday. It was really, really bad. All right, here we go. I am red. My nose blistered. My entire nose is blistered, and my forehead has like 20,000 blisters. I am cooked. All right, here. So you can see here where it's separated. This is after he attached it again, but it's separated from here, and there's a huge chunk. It's not in this photo, but where they reversed into it, they crushed in and damaged the part of the panel. So, it's just one of those things. Yeah, you hear Muffin talking. Muff, you want to talk to him? You want to talk to him? He's happy he's home. Long, long story. We had sunscreen and we left it at home. It was in a bag that we were supposed to pick up before we left, and we left it. And it was Tasmania. It was supposed to be. I don't think it ever got above like 20 degrees Celsius. It was very, very cool. And the sun down there is brutal. The sun is so hot. It's not hot. It burns you, even at low temperatures. Like, it's got super high UV. I wish someone would have told us. Meow meow for my cat. I'll have to. He'll come back again. He's in a good mood. He's just like, I'm home. I'm home. He did not enjoy his experience at the at the cat place. He did not like it. Yeah, so the owner of the hotel accepted full responsibility, and they gave us their insurance and like contact details and stuff, and they said they had it on CCTV. So they had the whole incident on CCTV. Wait, we could do our own crime investigation. I was looking for a dead body while I was out there because there was a lot of waterways. I didn't find one, but maybe we can do like a car crash investigation. We do our own investigation and find the culprit. We actually know the culprit, so. But yeah, I hope it's not on my excess. I actually bought travel insurance, which covers me for $8,000 of rental car excess. So I hope I'm okay. But when we filled out the form and we took it back to the hire car company, they didn't take our insurance. They took the hotel's insurance and they called them. So I'm hoping I'm not going to get like charged for it, but it's a lot of damage. They broke a bracket on the inside that holds that quarter panel onto the vehicle. They dented it in one place, and it was almost falling off when it first happened. They must have been flying. There was no. You know what the crazy thing is? Because Monday everyone was checking out. There was no other cars in the car park but my car. Not a single car, just mine. And somehow they hit it. I was like, how did you hit my car when there's no other cars in this place? There's none. Ugh. Oh, that might be right. They were trying to get away with the body. But look, I hope you guys are all really well. I thought I would just jump on and at least tell you why I'm not on, because I think a lot of people were expecting me to probably do a show today, and I would have done one yesterday. Actually, I planned to come home, um, unpack, and I was going to do a quick show last night, and then today I was going to do another one and catch up on everything I wasn't able to do over the vacation. But I don't know when I'm going to be back, guys. I really don't, and it could be a while. It could be a while. I don't know how long the courier is going to take over Christmas. I really hope it's fast. Maybe I can use Amazon next day delivery. We'll see. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what. Oh, I spent so many hours on it last night. I got home at about 4:30, and then about 5 I tried to boot it up, and I think I worked until midnight on it. I pulled everything out. I was doing isolation tests, and I was trying to find out because my motherboard has a code thing, like it has a Muffin, shut up. What? What do you want? What's wrong? Just meowing because you're happy? My motherboard has like a double-digit code reader thing, so when it boots up, it goes through a cycle of codes, and it was throwing all these random errors. It was like JC, and then another one was like 006, and it was just cycling through all these error codes, and I'm like, it's all plugged in. Like, what is going on? So, yeah, drugs. Yeah, look, at least we made it home. Uh, yeah, I it's been one of those funny things. And get this, my parents, they got home about they took a later flight than we did. So they got in about 7 p.m. yesterday. They rocked up to their apartment and there was no power. And they asked like what's going on. Apparently during the heat yesterday, everyone was using like air conditioning, and there was a fire in the control panel for the apartment building. So there's no power throughout the entire apartment complex. So they're staying in a hotel right now. So they flew all the way from Tasmania back home, drove all the way home, and then they can't stay at their home. They're now back in a hotel. I feel so bad for my in-laws. They're having a bad day. Yeah, Sunday night I was so sore. It felt like hornets or some sort of stinging creature was stinging my face constantly, and I had a cold compression on it, but I would literally put it on my face and it would warm up in a second. It was like ice cold water, and 2 seconds later it was boiling. So we were like, I think we need to go to the chemist and get aloe vera, because I was like, I don't know, I'm pretty sick. I'm pretty sure I had heat stroke on Sunday, and yeah, so we went and got aloe vera. Yeah, it definitely. The first part of the trip, did I tell you guys? Did I tell you that the in-laws almost didn't make it to the wedding? Yeah, I think I did. So we've had crazy stuff. Lindy says we'll miss you, but do what you need to do and try not to stress about it. I know. I hate not working, and I don't know what to do sitting here with no computer because I'm on my computer like 18 hours a day. So I'm sitting here with a little mobile phone, and that's all I've got. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. So I've been cleaning and helping Mrs. Ping. So yeah. Oh yeah, about the flights. So by the way, I hope you enjoyed the stream where me and Mrs. Ping came home from the wedding, back to the hotel room, and we were a mix of drunk and heat stroke. so, so we were a little more loose than we normally are. Hey, mornings. How are you? Yeah. So what happened to them? They went to catch their flight. So we get in on the Thursday. They got in on the Friday, and they were trying to log in for their flight. You know, when you go to the airport, you scan your thing and you get your boarding pass and all that type of stuff. And a guy came running up to them, and he's like, "You're the last people to check in, and you have one of the biggest, parties on this plane." So they had a lot of people. He's like, so we have a situation to tell you. The original plane we had, which has X many seats, broke down this morning. We brought in a second plane, but that plane is missing, I think they said 20 seats. So I think it was supposed to be like a 70-seater. These planes were tiny, by the way. And it was like a 54 or something like that. So there was a bunch of people that had to miss out. Now, The guy behind the desk said the algorithm that they use for seating, it decides who flies and who doesn't. It's not like a thing where passengers can say, I'll stay back, I'll catch a later flight, I don't have a wedding to go to. No, no, no. It's just that's what it is. Like it just chooses names. Unfortunately, those four names that got chosen were our family. So my mother-in-law, she was like, "This is my daughter's wedding. You must get me to Tasmania. She's getting married tomorrow." And the guy's like, "I'll see what I can do." Anyway, they bumped four people off the last flight on Friday to Tasmania, and they put my family on there instead of them. Feel bad for the other people, but unless they got a daughter getting married, I don't really care. So it's been a fun it's been a fun trip. It's been a crazy trip. Thank you. I hate mornings. I'll try the vinegar. Okay. Oh, you love the post-wedding chat? Yeah, some people grow around here too. We've seen the plants with the giant leaves. Yeah, I might have some photos of Tasmania. Let me see if I got anything I can show you. Hold on. That's not how we do that, is it? Yeah, that's how we do that. Oh, so we went to this beach. It's supposed to be like the northwesternmost tip of Tasmania, and we went to this crazy beach that was mostly rocks. But I'll show you it. Hold on. Here we go. It was about a 20-minute walk from our hotel. So this is the beach we went to. There's this giant mountain in the background. I think it's called Cradle Mountain. Cradle Top Mountain, something like that. But that's the beach we hung out at, and I got even more sunburn on Sunday. So there you go. It's beautiful out there. Really, really pretty. Really pretty place. Hey Touche, how are you? Howdy, y'all. I'll see what I got. I'm home, so I have more things here. When you're on vacation, you don't have enough items because, baggage limits and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, we showed you the rainbow. Let's see what else I got. Let's see. Muff, what are you talking? Yeah, you're crazy, Muffin. Shush. Yeah, you're mental. It's all right. Let me see. See if this uploads for me. There we go. Yeah, they made this when the tide, because there was low tide when we went there. They made this beautiful pattern all over the beach, and I took photos of it because it looks like someone's wallpaper on Windows 98. It looks like one of those stock standard wallpapers. Muffin chatting away. Yeah, he's a talker. You a talker? Yeah, yeah. Where's your sister? Oh, you're up there. Hey, Rory. Hi, buddy. You alright? What's wrong? He's okay. He hated the time there, but as soon as he came home, he was fine. Rory, on the other hand, she's still very mad at us and won't let us pat her. She won't let us pat her. She's like, no, I still hate you guys. But Muff's like, I love it here. I'm back home. Hey, good to see you. Oh, Sean said there was a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So I wonder if that had anything to do with the UV. I might have done. It was so weird. I've never been sunburned in 20-degree weather. I walk around Melbourne in 40 degrees all the time with no sunscreen or whatever. I've never been burnt like this since I was like 15. I've never been burnt. I'm 40 now. I've never been burnt this bad. My face, if I can get the computer working, I'll show you. My face is so red, and you can see where I was wearing sunglasses. So I've got white patches around my eyes. I look like a reverse, very angry panda. Hey, April B, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so Yeah, I know everyone tells me not to stress out, but I stress, especially with my channel. I want to get back to work. I enjoyed the holiday. Wedding was beautiful. Everyone had a great time. Bride and groom had a great time. I don't know if I told you this, but at the wedding, they had like a little an altar, and it had my grandfather on it. And as a lot of you know, if you've been following the channel, my grandfather died last year, and it had like a sign next to it that said, "In memory of those who couldn't be here today," or something like that. In memory of those, in memory of those of who we've lost along the way and couldn't be here today. And they had a photo of like my grandfather, a family friend who died only last month. My mother-in-law is devastated. It's like her best friend, and another guy that knew the bride. He died of brain cancer at 25, and the bride, who is my sister-in-law, she lost her grandfather in March, and she lost her friend from brain cancer only 3 months later. So she had a really hard year that year. And yeah, all three were represented at the wedding, which I loved. I thought it was amazing. It was one of my favorite things of the wedding. Uh, is that stupid ice speed guy or whatever? He was in Australia last week. Yeah, it was so nice. I don't know. Can I show it to you? I mean, I think I've shown you photos of my grandfather before. I think I showed you from the memorial. I think I can show you. I think I can show you. No one's gonna know my grandfather. So there's the three people. And I think I've shown you that middle photo before. That's my grandfather. Um, he used to be a diesel engineer, and that's him. I don't know, demonstrating something, but it's everyone in the family's favorite photo of him because he's so proud at the time and so happy with whatever he's doing. So we all love that photo. The guy on the far right, that's the fellow who died from brain cancer, and the guy on the far left is a family friend who died recently, only in November. He had a pacemaker put in, and the day after he got home, he started complaining of heartburn. And his brother was like, "Hey, let's get you to the hospital just to give you, like, just to check, see if there's anything wrong. Like, you shouldn't be in that much pain with that much heartburn." So they were getting ready to go to the hospital, and his brother heard just a thud, and that guy, I can't tell you the name due to privacy reasons, but that guy had fallen to the floor and he died. And yeah, they were only about an hour away from going to the hospital. So very, very sad. It's actually, I call him my grandfather, but it's actually Mrs. Ping's grandfather. But we spent years and years and years with him. He really liked me, and we got along really well. So he's not my grandfather, but it's Mrs. Ping's grandfather, if that makes sense. But we just call him Granddad. So, but yeah, he died. Uh, I know you guys would have known. I did the show around the funeral. So yeah, very sad. Yeah, it's beautiful to have that at the wedding. I was so touched, and I know that the bride really wanted that there. So yeah, it was a beautiful wedding. I mean, I wish I had more photos to show you of something I could show you without getting in trouble. Because the bride and groom don't want any photos on social media until they've posted their official wedding photos. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. I didn't take a ton of photos because the bride paid for photography time for our family. So we did a bunch with the bride and groom and other family friends and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like really nice photos for us. Um, I can tell you this. I'll tell you a funny story. So I think I've said this before, but the groom has the same name as me, and we're both from the same part. We grew up in the same part of Australia, and we make a lot of jokes that, you know, I'm the first one and he's the second one, sort of like bananas in pajamas. Anyway, we had to take a photo, which was just me and Mrs. Ping and the bride and groom, which is beautiful. I love those two very much. And it was funny. I said to the groom, I said, I don't think we've ever been this close before. And he said, well, there's always a first time for everything. And everyone was just laughing their asses off. Because while we're close and we see them a lot, we're not like touchy feely close with each other because we're just sort of like, you know, we're just two guys that are in the same room because of relationships. I mean, not that we don't get along, we do. But yeah, we're not like sitting there hugging each other every day. But yeah. Yeah, I inherited him. Yes, that's right. Rachel said, I understand that I'm closer to my husband's family than he is. Right, exactly. There's some people in Mrs. Pink's family that I'm close, really close to that she is not. We get along really well. Um, yeah, it was a beautiful memorial to them. It really was. Yeah, it was really, I loved it. It was really nice to see him represented. It was good. Rachel says, let us know what we can do to help you with things. Thanks, I appreciate it, but I feel really bad because I really wanted to do more on the trip, but when you're on like, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was being a bit naive. When I went on the trip, I thought I'd have a lot more spare time, but anytime there was some sort of spare time, our family filled it up with stuff. They're like, "We're going to the beach. Oh, we're going over here. Oh, we're going down this place. Hey, everyone's coming here," and it just ate up so much time. And by the time we got home, I was so exhausted because you're walking around all day and you're going here and there, and so I feel a little guilty because I was hoping to do a lot more, but we just didn't get to do it. Yeah, dude high. Yeah, that's basically what we do, dude high. But I got to meet his parents for the first time. I'd never met them before. I mean, I heard of them and things like that through the family, but I've never met them. And his mum, the groom's mum, might be my favorite person in the world. I'll tell you that story another time if I didn't tell you when I was drunk, but maybe I did. If I didn't, I'll tell you another time. But she's awesome. I love her. She yeah, she put things in the natural order of the universe that they should be. Yeah, it was crazy. There was people there I hadn't seen in like 8 years. There was people I hadn't seen for like 3 or 4 years. I caught up with some people I love. Like there's a couple that are friends in the family that unfortunately for whatever reason the get-togethers that they have been at recently, for some reason or another I didn't go. I'm not sure if I wasn't feeling well or I don't know. We sometimes we're not invited, and sometimes it's only for like the older adults, like 60, 50, that type of thing. Um, I'm not sure, but the guy in the relationship is like 70, and every time we find each other at a party, we just hang out like all night, and we both love each other so much, but we rarely get to see each other. So we got to hang out with people we hadn't seen in ages, talk to people like family, friends that catch up on what's going on. It was crazy. I mean, I guess that is a what a wedding is about. Mrs. P is my favorite person. Yeah, I mean outside of that, um, so we wanted to go out. There was a park that does like Tasmanian devil feeding. Um, we planned to go on the Sunday, but everyone was so trashed from the wedding, and a lot of people still very hungover that we didn't end up going. But Mrs. P did see a Tasmanian devil on the side of the road. Like she saw one, this big black thing. So it was walking along the side of the road. What else did we see? We saw these black wallabies. They're like long haired. They're not short hair like a kangaroo that you normally see. They had really bushy hair, very black, almost like a dog. And what else we saw? We saw a quoll. We saw quolls and stuff like that. April B said, "There's never spare time on a trip like that. I wasn't surprised you weren't on here. Sounds like it was a great time, aside from the sunburn." I know. I can't tell you the last time I had a holiday. I think it might be about 10 years ago that I actually flew somewhere and did something like that. No, not 10, but it's been a while since we've done sort of yeah, a getaway or something like that. And I think I was a bit naive on how much free time I was going to have. And I should have known because I know what my family's like. They're always like, oh, get up at 8:30 on holiday and we're going to go eat breakfast. Then we're going to go hike over here at a mountain or something. They're very active people. Rachel says my auntie-in-law is one of my favorite people. She's 82 and we talk weekly. I know the guy. I'll call him A, but I won't give you his full name due to privacy reasons. I love him. He's the greatest guy in the world, and like I said, we chat up a storm every time I see each other. I think at the wedding we spent about 4 hours just catching up on the last 6 years we haven't seen each other. And at the end of the wedding, he's like, "No more 6 years, no more. We're gonna have lunch this summer. Like, tell your parents. Like, we're all gonna get together and come up, do something." And he's like, "6 years is too long." He goes, "You do too many 6 years, and someone dies." He's a very, very direct guy, but he's right. A lot of these people are getting a little older, and 6 years is a bit too long to wait to have lunch. So. Dude, Sean, there was so much roadkill. I mean, there's so much on Tasmanian roads to the point there was a certain road we had to drive down all the time after because the shops are far away. Well, not far away, but further than if you live in Melbourne. And we had this one road we had to go down, and we started calling it the Road of Dead Animals because there was just so many dead animals on the side of the road. So it was bonkers. Yeah, I think other than the ceremony, which was beautiful, the photos are going to be, oh my God, amazing. Um, the catching up with people, I think that's my favorite part. Yeah, yeah, he's just like 6 years is too long. He's like, it's funny because I didn't have the long hair last time he saw me, and I didn't have the beard, like goatee slash beard facial hair that I have now. I was clean shaven. I had short hair. And he saw me at the wedding, and he's like, "Oh my God, look at your hair." He's like, "I love it." He's like, "I used to have long hair when I was your age." And he's like, "God, that looks so good." And I was like, "Oh, that's very kind." Hey, Darby, how are you? Good to see you. Kathy here? Hey, Kathy. Good to see you, my friend. So, Kathy, she did get to see a Tasmanian devil, but maybe not the way she was hoping to. We tried to get people involved to come with us, but Uh, she wasn't feeling so great the next day after the wedding anyway. As you could see when we did that live stream, we were pretty blasted. There was far too many fireball shots, and I don't know what else we drank. These beers that had juice in them, which were amazing. I had about 15. No, I didn't have 15, but I had about six of them. And like I think I've told you before, I don't drink. I don't drink in day-to-day life, in like week in, week out. I don't drink alcohol. But it's a wedding, and it was my sister-in-law's wedding, and everyone else has a drink. So, and it was, why not? Might as well have a drink. So, Ping had far too many drinks on Saturday. Oh, Muffin's not angry. He's fine. He already ate chicken. As soon as we brought the barbecue chicken out, he's like, "All is forgiven. All is forgiven. I love you all. Give me the chicken." He was fine. Rory might be a different story. Yeah, so I don't know what's actually. I do have some true crime to talk to you about. There is a case I was hoping to cover today, and if I can fix the computer later tonight, I'll cover it then. There's a case going on in Australia right now. A very big pole vaulting coach here has been busted for SAing and R wording and other things that go with that to junior athletes that were under his command through the Australian Institute of Sport. So I actually really want to delve into that when I can actually get my stuff working. But it's very serious that they've been able to dig up old video where he's actually touching a young female pole vaulter on the bum, in the middle of competition. It is really awful. And a bunch of these women who have grown up a little bit, now, they're a little older, have started to come forward and tell their side of the story of what this coach did. So that's going to be a big one that we're going to talk about as soon as I can get everything working. April B says, Fireball, yuck, I haven't drank for several years. Yeah, I mean, it's not my thing, but when people shove it in your face and say, have this, it's like, all right. Tharvi said, tired, but okay, hubby's getting over a cold, so he is fun, not. Yeah, men with colds are very, are like whingers. I promise. I'm really bad too. When I get sick, I'm the worst patient. I'm grumpy, I'm moody, nothing can make me happy. I'm very annoyed, which sort of describes me anyway, day to day, but men are the worst. Gayla says, you did okay talking while having so much to drink. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was more that we were cracking up laughing all the time. Everything seemed so funny. Sean says we want to see a Thyla scene. Plenty of sightings. I heard that there might be a very small enclave of Tasmanian tigers in Tasmania. There's a place, I think it wasn't too far from where we were. We're in a really remote part of Tasmania where we were. Um, I heard that there's a place that people don't go. It's very hard to get to. There's huge valleys and cliffs, and it's not been developed. There's no roads to get in there. They say it's possible that a very small population may live there. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard. Yeah, we're going to talk about, actually, give me a sec. Let me see if I can pull the thing up. Hold on. That sounded worse. You could put some context to that and you could make it sound really bad. Hold on. Actually, if we wait for Mrs. Ping for a minute, I can grab her phone and I can read from it while I'm holding this phone, but she's taken it somewhere. She'll come out in a second. Hey, JS the cat, how are you? Uh, the universe is telling me no more leaving Melbourne. Look, I think everyone that goes on holidays, there's always things that, go wrong or happen not the way you expect, like the hire car, which they're now holding our entire security deposit, which I would have liked to have gotten back quickly. They're holding our entire security deposit until the investigation is over. The girl at the counter was like, "Oh yeah, it should be like 3 to 6 weeks," and I'm like, "Great." So there's $400 that's being, held prisoner somewhere. Kathleen said, I heard a male doctor admit that men are not as strong as women when it comes to sickness. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, the dog. That could be true. Let me see. I don't know where she went. I think she's cleaning something. She said she was off to clean, but I don't know where she went. She's not even in this part of the house. So. Guys, hold on. I'm going to try find her. Give me 1 second. All right, I found her. She said her phone is over here. It does seem. What is this? Oh, it's a cat. Hey, Muffin. Muffin has decided to sleep underneath the couch. Good work, Muff. All right, let me grab this. Let me get into this. What are you reading, Mrs. King? That is very strange. All right. Coach. All right, let's go. Yeah, so Fox Sports here. I got it here. They're saying a Commonwealth Games athlete, her name is Amanda Bisk, has come forward with disturbing allegations as Australian athletics scandal took another horrific turn. Athletics Australia on Friday almost sounded Scottish or Irish. Athletics Australia on Friday responded to the totally unacceptable and deeply distressing allegations that have been leveled against one of the country's top coaches. After an investigation by the Australian uncovered alleged inappropriate behaviour by pole vault coach, who have I been talking to? Alex Parnov, during his 2 decades working at the Western Australian Institute of Sport. So the IOS, or whatever they call it, the AIS, they are Australia's government-funded sporting program for elite athletes. So what does that mean? That's like your Olympians, your Paralympians, that type of thing. People who compete, like for the country. They say it's been alleged that Parnov preyed on some of Australia's best young female athletes, and his inappropriate behaviour was kept secret by the organisation for more than a decade. Bisk, who is now 38, has told the publication she was subject to an alleged SA by the coach in Japan when they were travelling together in 2009. She said she had been accepted into the squad of athletes under his control in 2006 at the age of 20. She was reportedly in tears when she was retelling the story, and this is her story. So the night before our competition, he came to my room and I could smell alcohol. She goes on to say, I thought, wow, he seems a bit drunk. And he said to me, I just want to come and talk to you about the comp tomorrow and tuck you in. I was this naive young girl. I was a late bloomer. So I thought, oh, tuck you in like a parent. Say you're going to do great at the comp tomorrow or whatever. But then he actually got into bed with me. I was nervous and shaking and I didn't understand what was happening. I could feel he had an erection and he was rubbing it on me. I just started bursting into tears, crying, and he was saying inappropriate things like, I have this because of you. I was crying and begging him to stop so much that, thankfully, he did. I could tell he was frustrated with me. I just stayed in bed and hoped he would leave, and he finally did. She said Parnov acted as if nothing had happened in the days that followed. Towards the end of her career, Bisk said in 2020 she had suffered from chronic fatigue. She had gone on to become an instructor in yoga and Pilates after her career in pole vault. Bisk competed at the 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi, where she finished 6th overall. The Parnov scandal broke when 7 female athletes spoke to the Australian, revealing the alleged inappropriate behaviour they claimed to have suffered while being guided by the famed Olympic pole vault coach. So the background to Parnov is that he had obtained a silver medal for one of his proteges, one of the girls he was teaching, a very big accomplishment in Australia, especially on the female side, because we had not traditionally done super well in that discipline. But he broke that barrier and he became sort of like a really famous coach. So like every institute in Australia wanted him as their coach. So yeah, let me read it. They say here, the newspaper had a 2-month investigation, uncovered texts, emails, documents, and video to expose Parnov's alleged actions and Western Australia's Institute of Sport's failure to act. I also heard this, that the girls who reported him over the last 20 years at the Western Australian Institute of Sport, they had their claims broken down and denied, or even if they were found proven, they were minimized, or they were saying, oh, this was just a very small transgression. We can all do better, that type of thing. No real substantial punishment for the coach at all to someone preying on young women in Australia. It really is brutal. April B says, it sounds like he was kind of grooming the athletes over the years. Yes, it does sound like that. The other thing is, apparently, a different coach called Steve Hooker, who was actually a champion pole vaulter himself. I think that's right? Steve Hooker? I think so. I don't have all my notes here. He actually saw inappropriate behavior and touching during competitions and other moments where, different squads will get together. He saw Panov, doing inappropriate things with young women, and he actually reported it to the institute, but they did nothing about it, denied his complaint, and when he got the results of the investigation back, they had actually framed his complaint as a financial complaint and nothing to do with the young women. So apparently at one point, some funding or payments were taken from Steve Hooker and given to Panov, and everyone knew that he was sort of like annoyed by it and sort of upset that the institute would take some of his money and give it to someone else. But Steve says his complaint wasn't anything to do with his salary or reimbursement money, that type of thing. He literally was complaining about the inappropriate behavior, and the institute covered it up to keep the coach because he's a silver medalist trainer, so we don't want him to go away, and they covered it up. Yeah, apparently so. Hey, Leisha, how are you, my sweet friend? So it says here, so two other athletes have come forward. Olympic champions Nina Kennedy and Steve Hooker, both previous champions before they moved into coaching and whatever else they do now, have also spoken out about the harm of the culture of abuse and sporting authorities and lack of response to these allegations. Both superstar athletes called for change, with Kennedy stating, the win at all cost mentality, deeply embedded in sporting culture, must end. Which the comment there is that no one cares as long as you're winning. And if you want to touch up or feel up some of your, female athletes, well, sure, but you better keep winning. And she's saying that, that needs to stop. Of course it does. Female athletes should feel safe and free enough to be able to compete in their discipline and not have to feel like, oh, that coach is going to squeeze my butt again, or he's going to hop into bed with me and make me feel his erection. I think that is horrific allegations. Rachel says, I hope any other victims have the courage to come forward. When they are ready, they need to be held accountable. They agreed. Marilanda says, like Larry Nassar or Nasir, or whatever his name is, at Michigan State, who molested girls on the gymnastic team for years. Yeah, that guy was a true predator. Like an actual, like we read about it and you see some and they call him a predator and you're like, not really, but I mean, he's just a criminal. There's guys out there that commit these crimes that hunt like a freaking predator, like an apex predator. And Nasir was one. He had it all thought out. He had all these cover stories. He convinced these girls with what they call like slow drip grooming, and what that is where you push boundaries a little bit every time. So like one day it'll be like, a hand on your knee, and then the next time it'll be on your lower thigh, and then next time it'll be a little further, that type of thing. It's slow manipulation. It's not like a all in one go. So yeah, that guy, that guy, didn't he tell some of his female athletes that he would have to do an internal invasive exam to cure whatever muscle problems they were having? And gross. That guy was gross. You get, uh, I'm one for much harsher punishment for him. Tron says nothing to do with this athlete, but some female athletes wear inappropriate attire for their sports. I think as long as they're competing against other females, who cares? I mean, what are they going to do? Get all pervy on each other? I mean, unless they're gay, but I mean, mostly it's all women. So if you go to a women's track and field, it's going to be mostly women. If you go to women's basketball, it'll mostly be women. So I don't know. I think you can't put it on them. But I mean, if you want to complain about outfits, you should see what the volleyball women have been saying for years, that their little skimpy spandex underwear or whatever they are, that they don't like wearing them because guys literally just watch the volleyball to stare at half naked girls. So it ends up on YouTube. I don't know. I've never seen it. I mean, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying I've never seen it. Rachel says the punishment needs to be taken into consideration all the grooming and the time involved. Well, he no longer works for the WAIS. He left suddenly in 2019, and the parting message from the WAIS was he'd basically stepped down after allegations had been proven to be true. But they didn't detail what those allegations were, nor what the theme of those allegations consisted of. Because it's very different. If you said, oh, he was stealing $20 from the community, the community box in our eatery every Friday for the last 20 years, and that's why he stood down and basically was fired after the allegations were proven to be correct, you'd go, oh, that guy's a bit of a dick. He's earning so much money. Why does he need to steal $20 from the public donation box every Friday? But then if you have a different one and it says, oh, he's been grooming girls for 20 years and that's why he stepped down, it'd be a much bigger deal. But to just blankly state, oh, he's stepping down because allegations were proven to be true, that's not enough. It's not enough of a acceptability. Thavi says it's horrible no matter who does it. My best friend's dad did it to me for 3 years, and yes, he worked his way where he wanted to be. He was 55 and I was 22 and naive. I'm sorry that happened to you. These guys are jerks. They really are. Thavi says it traumatizes you for your life and affects you. I bet it would. I bet. Hold on. So they say here, okay. Athletics Australia released a statement saying, Athletics Australia acknowledges the highly concerning reports about the conduct of Alex Parnov during his time as a pole vault coach at the Western Australian Institute of Sport between 1998 and 2019, as well as the subsequent, WAIS responses to complaints that were made. The reports identify a pattern of behavior that are totally unacceptable and deeply distressing, and we are profoundly sorry for the harm that they cause for athletes and staff. The well-being and safety of all our participants in our sport is paramount, and we recognize the courage of those who have come forward to share their experiences. I don't know if that's what I call it. When you go to a theme park and you ride a roller coaster, you're like, that was an experience. When you go surfing and a great white shark bites your board in half, you go, wow, that was an experience. But I'm not sure if these girls who were SA'd were like, wow, that was an experience. I think they're more like, that was a crime. We can use the word crime. It's okay. You don't need to cover it up with the word experience. You can use the word criminal allegations, because that's what it is. You can't just groom women and then forcibly touch them. It's ridiculous. It's a crime. Use the proper vernacular. You're cheaping this statement by deliberately slow playing or downplaying the wording that they're using. Yeah, that's a word salad for criminal activity, right? They say here, they say to support those who have spoken up, encourage any others who may have experienced unacceptable behaviors. Why do we call it that? Is it sort of like a bad dog where you smack it on the head with a newspaper because it pissed on your laundry? No, it's not an unacceptable behavior either. Why can't we use again the word criminal conduct? Yeah, they say they hope that they come forward and speak confidentially so that further action can be taken. Why didn't you take that action earlier? Kennedy 27 claimed gold at this year's Paris Games and shared a gold medal with American Katie Moon at the 2023 World Championships. When contacted by the Australian, Kennedy, who was allegedly targeted by Parnov, made a strong statement urging positive change to protect athletes in Australia and internationally. Kennedy made complaints to the WAIS and says a 2019 investigation into Parnov did not bring to light the seriousness of the alleged misconduct. She added that the repercussions post-investigation did not accurately match the severity of the allegations. Athletes deserve to feel safe and supported. However, I believe the organizations responsible for safeguarding us failed to protect myself and others. I don't believe the outcome of the 2019 investigation truly represented or brought to light the seriousness of the alleged misconduct. I also don't believe the repercussions post-investigation delivered by the WAIS accurately match the severity of the allegations and findings. I've been fighting this battle behind closed doors in my own way while trying to reach and succeed at the pinnacle of my sport. This story has weighed on me and my shoulders for many years. I bet it did. Kennedy added that heartbreaking belief she could only fulfill her potential once her former coach resigned. So she's saying, due to the pressure and the creepy, touching and stuff, that she never could reach the apex of her talent. And only after he resigned in 2019 did she start to get the results that she was looking for in the sport, because all of that weight and feelings and other things had been lifted from her shoulders. I know, gaslighting victims, that's what it sounds like. Darby says, I speak out about it now and I'm here for others that need help. It's very, very kind of you. It's very kind of you. Sean said, 3 of my female cousins experienced it, and my best mate's son with his babysitter when he was only 12. That's bonkers. That's crazy. It says here, Athletics Australia said Parnov had been sacked and banned for life after learning of the allegations back in 2019, ensuring he could no longer be involved in the sport in Australia. In subsequent years, clear directives were issued by AA to prevent his participation in any athletics-related activity, both in Australia and abroad. While Mr. Parnov was employed by the WAIS, we acknowledge his role as a coach on various Australian teams abroad and the trust that Athletics Australia placed in him. We recognize the significance and importance of robust safeguards and collaboration across the sporting landscape to prevent such conduct from occurring, to protect athletes at every level, and to provide safe avenues to raise concerns. Athletics Australia has asked Sport Integrity Australia to support a review of how Athletics Australia acted during the period Mr. Parnov was coaching in our sport, including how any complaints about his behavior were managed. Athletics Australia remains committed to continuous improvement in athlete safety and well-being and fostering a culture of respect and safety across all areas of the sport. They say international sporting success and gold medals should never be a higher priority than athlete welfare. That's a good point. We will continue to work with athletes and coaches, Sport Integrity Australia, and Institute of Sport to ensure the athletes are protected from harm. For those impacted, we offer our unwavering support. Confidential support services are available through the AA. So what do you guys think? Are they just trying to cover up something that they'd already known about, and now they're coming out with these hyper victim-focused statements to just try and bury up their own conduct? Although they did say that they wanted an independent investigation into their own behavior and the way they acted during his entire tenure as a coach in their command. So I don't know. We'll see if that investigation ever takes place and what it finds. Savi says there was a doctor for the US. Yeah, we talked about that before. You know, we spoke about a case a while ago. It was a doctor who had been abusing his patients and recording it. Do you guys remember that one? I don't know if we ever found out what happened after that. His own wife dobbed him in, I think. Hey, Robbie, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. I know, I wish I was on the camera right now with my normal setup, but I don't know if you read or heard the earlier part of this video. Unfortunately, my computer is dead as a doornail. It is not working. It's just not doing well. Thavi says they are too embarrassed to admit one of their own screwed up. It sounds like it. Rachel said they are covering their own butts against lawsuits, probably. It's very hard to, um, try and build a defense even this early against something that seems to be widely acknowledged, including in their own firing of him in 2019 after the allegations had been proven against him. They will definitely get sued. All right. I wish I could show you a video of him, but he's a bit of a. What do he look like? Let's have a look. I wonder if I could. How would we do that? See what I mean? It's very hard. I can't just switch pages like I normally do and show you different photos. Let's see. Yeah. Either way, this guy's an absolute creep. If you want to know more about this, there's a really good podcast episode by The Australian. They're the people who broke the story and did the several-month investigation to find the documents and the text messages, the emails, the stuff about the investigation into Parnov. It's called Australian Olympians Expose Alleged Abuse by Top Coach under the Australian YouTube channel. So, Darby said, I would sue them and then sue the coach. Now that he's a private citizen, that would be interesting. That would probably bankrupt him. Trying to defend a class action of several athletes banding together. Whew. He may not get out of it with his own pair of pants. He may have to give them up as well. Let me see if I can find anything else. Yes, but give me 1 second, guys. I can't type and hold the phone at the same time. Hold on. All right. It says Russian-born Parnov worked at the Western Australian Institute of Sport between 1998 and 2019 when he quit after an investigation into claims of inappropriate behavior was launched. They say Parnov has never been tried or convicted over the allegations, and attempts by the Australian Federal Police to reach him via social media were not immediately successful. They say he coached some of Australia's greatest Olympian champions, including Paris gold medal winning pole vaulter Nina Kennedy and Steve Hooker, who won the title at Beijing in 2008. So this guy was like the medal whisperer to the WAIS, and that's why for a long time, I believe, they covered up his indiscretions, as how they would describe it. It says here, an investigation by the Australian, yep, we know that. The newspaper claimed his behavior was ignored and then kept secret for much of his employment. The reports, we said that, okay. Yeah. The WAIS said in a statement they are appalled by the alleged behavior. You've known about it for years and done FA. They say the WAIS had a duty of care to athletes, and it is clear that in the case of Parnov, the organization did not do enough to protect them. The WAIS board is profoundly sorry for the hurt and trauma experienced by these athletes and recognizes their courage in speaking up about terrible events that should never have happened. The organization admitted to being aware of some of the claims against Parnov, but the scale of the allegations reported by the newspaper was far more extensive than previously known. It added that when a new board was appointed in 2023, it commissioned an independent analytical review of Parnov and WAIS's actions and had encouraged further investigation, including by the police, who confirmed they had been alerted to potential criminal conduct. Well, at least someone can say the word criminal conduct in these organizations. Nina Kennedy said, athletes deserve to be safe. It is true. So, we're gonna have to see where this goes on. Sean says the lawyers will win. I agree. April B says definitely seems to be a cover-up. Yeah, there definitely seems to be some sort of very deliberate manipulation and smoke and mirrors tactics to keep the coach in his job and keep the medals raining from the sky. Without, if this was anyone else, they would have been fired 15 years ago. But because he wins the country gold, silver, bronze, Asia Pacific champions, he was protected for a period of time. That report that they've commissioned, there's no way they would be ever be able to say anything else. It seems to be obvious that's what happened. Now, the people who work there now may be different, and maybe they're more inclined to do the right thing, but it doesn't seem to be at the time when it all happened. It took, 21 years for it to come to the surface. Rachel says, I think it really helps victims to come forward once someone speaks out. Hopefully, if there's any other, I was going to say girls, but they're women, any other women out there who were affected or had a crime committed against them by Parnov, I hope they do come forward and stand side by side with their other sisters and show the world what he did to them. It's very important. But I also understand that for some of them, it's just too much to put their name to or put their image to speak publicly about. Some of them are just not ready to do that. But if they could do it privately to the investigators, that'd be good. Let's see. Duty of care. Yeah, we already read that. Here, the Western Australian Institute of Sport held a snap press conference to apologize to the athletes harmed by former Olympic pole vault coach Alex Parnov as police assess potential criminal conduct. Ooh, interesting. They say WA police are assessing potential criminal conduct involving former Olympic pole vault coach Alex Parnov in the wake of the revelations by the Australian Weekender that he groomed, propositioned, and sexually harassed and inappropriately touched multiple young female athletes in his care. So I hope that investigation by the police does well. I hope they do. Yeah, I agree with you all that there definitely seems to be much cover up going on. Much cover up. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to work the other phone while talking to you guys. So we'll do more on that as soon as I can get this stupid computer working. I will do more on it. Ping, did you see that Hana Kobayashi returned to the US? I did not. Hold on, let me put you on the plate so I can talk to you. I did not. I gotta say, I've been a little out of the loop when I was away. Let me see, Kobayashi. Here. Hana Kobayashi issues first statement after returning to the US. Oh my god. Yeah, what does she say? Kobayashi said in the statement provided by her aunt, that's curious, that she was unaware of everything that happened in the media during her disappearance. Oh, F off. Come on. No. Just no. What do you think you are? Do you think you're Where's Wally and you're hiding and you can't hear anything from the outside? No way. She says, I kindly asked for respect for myself and my family and my loved ones as I navigate through this challenging time. I'm happy to give that to you. Very happy. Your family? Not so much. Not so much. She's welcome to it. She's an adult. She can do what she wants. Happy to give her her privacy and respect. They say here, the 30-year-old had been presumed missing after her flight on November 8th. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is the full statement. At daybreak on December 15, I crossed the border back into the US. My focus is now on my healing, my peace, and my creativity. All right. I am deeply grateful to my family and everyone who has shown me kindness and compassion during this time. Sure. I was unaware of everything that happening. No, I'm sorry. Nope. So, and it says here, while I was away, and I'm still processing it all. Oh, okay. Sure. I kindly ask for respect for myself, my family, and my loved ones. We can give it to you, but no one else. She says as she navigates this challenging time. Oh, I think the whole thing about this has smelt fishy from day one. Just all of it. I think I said that very early on in a couple of my live shows that something here felt like the pieces weren't connecting correctly. And it's not to say that every crime has a formula that they follow, but there are key indicators that we look for in certain cases. You know, homicide or missing people, this and that. This one has just been, it's just bizarre. And a lot of it doesn't, I think the information that we were given as the public, a lot of it was, manufactured, manipulated, added to, and used to cause a panic, or not a panic, but almost like an emergency situation when it wasn't needed. And no one's actually sat down and dealt with that part of it yet. Everyone's sort of given him a free pass, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, I did see that too about apparently she had been telling people at the shop where she worked. I can't remember if it was like a tobacco store or she worked at a dispensary. Either one. She had actually tried to rope in workers or friends at work to do the same thing, claiming she was going to be paid $15,000 for her role in this green card scam. So, yeah, nothing about like, oh, I miss my dad who died while looking for me. It's just, I know. There's a lot of things in the Hana Kobayashi story that I think are, you know, just pure lies. They're pure lies. They were used to evoke a certain response from the public, and they got it. But now you have this public who got invested and helped and tried to do what they could for the family. I feel like a lot of people feel very cheated by what transpired in the last, week or so. I think a lot of people feel like they were set up, or this was some sort of ploy by several people to. I'm not sure what the gain was, whether it was money, recognition, global fame. I have no idea, but there was some end goal here that you know doesn't seem right. There's a few things here. I like in her statement when she says, "You need to give my family privacy." No, we don't. You can't just wave a wand because you've made a statement through your aunt that makes this all go away. For you, that's fine. I'm happy to give her privacy, whatever she wants. That's great. Um, but there's other people here that seem to have been. This is the word I'm going to use. Bad actors. Bad actors. That's what I'm going to use. Right. Yes. Very similar to how Carly Russell made everyone feel after that turned out to be a hoax. I don't know if Hannah's was a hoax, but I believe that there was like some of the information that was known about Hannah, like where she purchased a ticket, where that bus went, that she was heading towards the border. A lot of these things, I believe, were known much earlier than what people are saying. Um, at least two people I spoke to said the family was well aware that she had purchased a bus ticket and was heading out of town, but they were still calling people to come search in LA. Like, there was a bunch of other things too. That rad movement people, they were increasingly hostile to anyone who asked questions. They were increasingly hostile to anyone who wanted to help, and they were blocking people and deleting comments, and they were only leaving up like the ones that were pure support for Hannah and her family. Anything else, anything questioning any sort of validity to any part of this story was either they got threatened with legal action, they had their comments deleted, they were blacklisted, apparently is what they said to people. There was some, I'm going to say the word, bad actors that were surrounding the Hannah Kobayashi case, whatever you want to call it, a missing person case, whatever name you want to title it. There were some people here that, yeah. I read all about that rad movement and what they were doing to people. And I read there was a couple who wanted to come to LA, spend their time, money, and fuel to come and help, and they were just treated like absolute dirt by the rad movement. That's that one called Lara. I always mispronounce her name. I think her last name is Pigeon or Pigeon or whatever, however you pronounce it. I think that's on the other side. I don't think it's on the mum side. I think it's on the other side. I think you guys might know more than me about where she comes from. But she was kicked out of the another part of it or something. Hold on, guys. Come on, let me in. There we go. All right. Yeah. Look. Oh, I'm not going to say it's a waste of time what we did for Hannah and all that, and the millions of other people who spent their time, resources, etc. Um, I'm glad she's safe. I'm glad she's back in the USA. But I feel like there's still a lot of questions to be asked and answered. I feel like there's stuff here that really needs it. You can't hide behind statements like, "I'm so sorry that my loved one is alive. We're all going to ask for our privacy and respect now, and no more questions, please. No more questions about the dodgy shit we've done." Like, no, you don't get to do that. You asked the entire world to come and help, and then you screwed around people for a bunch of weeks. So any kind of you know, spit back that they might get, I think it's, you know, appropriate. A lot of people who feel very mad. I've read a lot from a lot of people who traveled into LA to help, donated money to the GoFundMe's, you know, did other things, and it felt like they had tried to craft such a perfect narrative about it. You know, it just felt wrong. All right, what time is it? 7 o'clock. It's very early. It's very early. Hold on, let me just want to check something here. Okay. All right. By the way, I want to thank some people. I want to thank Margaret. I want to thank DJ. I want to thank Kelly and Amy and Rachel. Who else? Do I have any other? Kathy Lynch. I'd like to thank my friend Peekaboo Cockatiel and Sean. Thank you to those people for sending in stories while I was away to keep me in the loop. I really appreciate it. I got back to everyone, I think, at least once. Did I? Let me check. I hope so. I'm just checking one more. Did I? Yes. No. I don't know. Hold on, guys. Oh no, I did. Yes, I got back. I got in touch with everyone that sent a email while I was away. So thank you for that. It's very kind of people to, even though I wasn't doing scheduled live streams, to still want to try and help out and keep the news rolling for me. I do appreciate it. It's 7 p.m. here, guys. This show was not supposed to be 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever it was. It was supposed to be just a quick live show to tell you what was going on and why I haven't come back and started booking shows for our normal time slot. Now you guys know, you understand what's going on, and I don't know. I'll see you as soon as I can. As soon as I can get back out, I will be back. I promise. C. Taylor says, well, that yeah, I don't know about what side she's on, but I think it must be a different one from the mum. But anyway, all right. All right. It must be very early in the morning for a lot of you. So I'm going to let you go, leave you and love you. And bloody hell, I hope I can get this sorted soon. I want my computer back. Um, wish me luck. Wish me luck. If you see a show booked for tomorrow at our normal time slot, you'll know that I fixed it. Unless you know someone who works at Amazon who can get stuff to me faster, that would help. It's 8 a.m. You guys are crazy. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, when I order from, I don't know, it depends where I can get parts, but hopefully, whatever store I order from will send it out to me for express delivery, and we can get to trying to fix it. All right. If I can't fix it, I may drop in a couple of times and do this type of thing just to keep in touch with you all. But let's all keep your fingers crossed. Cross anything. Get your rabbit's foot thing, 4-leaf clovers, all that type of thing. I hate morning says I do, but not in the way house. Oh, well, we tried. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed for me. All right. See you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Some way, somehow, I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you all. Good night. Good night. Bye.